My 5 greatest stories. Number 1.
Ken.
Yeah, sure, Alex.
Smiley Bones Merritt. Where did you get that name, the nickname Smiley Bones?
Oh, I met this guy, Marty Devlin. He could not remember my name, but I was so skinny that if I turned sideways and stuck my tongue out, I'd look like a zipper. Okay, that's how skinny I was. So, and I was always smiling, I guess. So he goes, I can't remember your name, old buddy, so I'm just going to call you Smiley Bones. You're nothing but a bag of bones, and you're always smiling. So that's where I got the nickname from, Smiley Bones. And then later on, I turned it into a character to, I was always a big believer because Gabe was part of this when he was teaching tennis, that if you're not entertaining, you can't educate. And I think, the drills and things that we did growing up, Alex, when you were an academy student and all, they had to be entertaining. If they're not entertaining, then there's no way you can educate.
Number 2.
I think that togetherness that we had, and the fact that we all had egos that were driven, but always said there's a difference between being an expert and being a know-it-all. Okay. And Gabe set us up to be experts and not know-it-alls. And to me, a know-it-all is somebody that doesn't take help and advice from other people and, ask questions of other people, where an expert is constantly asking for assistance and asking for knowledge from everybody else. So, we all worked well together. Half of the guys didn't speak English at the beginning, which was great, and then they learned English, and then all of a sudden they had great things to say, whether it's chippy chippy or, Gabe gave us all a voice to get up and be able to let people know what was inside of our heads, and some guys were great at it. So I think it was a great environment at the time. We were not just people that worked and then went home and got away from each other. We were tight. We were a family.
Yeah.
It was not a show.
I was young at the time, but I could definitely see the high level of camaraderie. And then also you guys worked together for a long time with each other.
Yeah. I mean, 15, 18, 20 years we were together and traveled the world together. And we'd go out and play cards at least one night a week. After just spending 14 hours a day on the court with each other, we go spend another 7 hours playing cards with everybody, so that was a special time for sure, with a lot of special people.
Number 3.
When I was scouting for Prince, I didn't even have to watch them hit a tennis ball. I could tell if they could play or not by the way they were hanging around the tournament desk. and trust me, it's true, because a player, somebody that's a top level player, they walk the walk. It's just, I don't know if it's because our eyes have just gotten so good at seeing those people, but you can just tell based on how they're walking and how they interact with other people. And then you can also see everybody, all the wannabes that are behind them, hanging out with them, right? Okay, because they want to be close to that aura that person has. So and of course, I've also been wrong. I was at La Petite As in south of France, there to watch a young lefty player that I watched about 10 minutes of him. I said, he's not going to be any good at all because he doesn't play like a lefty. He bends over on his backhand. His technique is not great. I didn't do my homework, and I missed Rafa Nadal.
Number 4.
The witch doctor thing. How did you pull that off?
I'll tell you the witch doctor one. Okay, so I said, Xavier, I've got this unbelievable ability to be able to predict what happens in a point before it happens. He goes, no way, man. There's just no way you can do it. I go, well, watch. She's going to slice serve out wide, and then there'll be a backhand cross-court winner. Slice serve out wide, backhand. You go, how the hell did you do that? I don't understand how you did that. Okay, and then the next couple points, I said, I'll do it again, but I want $5 if I get it right this time. He goes, okay, I'll give you $5 if you get it right. So that's it. I said, anybody else want in on this? And so I waited a couple more points, and they were showing a match on the stadium court, and they had, the televisions all over the players' lounge. I said, okay, here's what oh, God, she double faults on this point. Like 3 seconds later, double fault. How are you doing this? And I'm starting to make money now. Okay, we're not really gambling, but I'm making money on points being played. He had no idea. He started calling me a witch doctor. He was like, "You're satanic. There's something wrong with you. You should." He said, "Can you tell when I'm going to make, what I'm going to do in the points?" I go, Xavier, we can all tell when you're getting ready to break a racket. Okay, this is a guy that broke 40 rackets a year for Prince. Okay, we can tell when it's going to happen, like 2 points away. And so anyway, I couldn't take it any longer because I had the table thinking that they were getting ready to call like the tournament director and get me out of the players' lounge because I was like some witch doctor or something that could predict all kinds of points and exorcism was going to happen. Literally, he knew the TV I was looking at was 3 seconds ahead of the feed of his that he was looking at.
Number 5.
When I was traveling with Nick when he was coaching Boris Becker, that was probably one of the times I was old enough to really appreciate it and learn about the sport. But just to see the class that this guy had at the time, you know, taught me to be classy. He flew with a private jet at the time. So we get everything on the plane. We're flying back to Munich, okay? And the pilot comes back and says, guys, we got too much weight. Okay, we got all the bags we got and all the people. We cannot do this. So I was always the guy that said, don't worry about it. Give me like 10 bags. I've got his credit card and I'll just take a commercial flight tomorrow. You know, I'll take the 10 extra bags. And he goes, no. Makes a phone call. Next thing we know, there's another private jet pulling up next to ours. They take all the luggage off, put it on that plane so we could all party on the way back to Munich. So the luggage went on one jet, we went on another.
It sounds really interesting.
But that, you know, I saw him help a young girl when he was training. We came out of the Olympic Hall in Munich where he was training. There's a bunch, and it was snowy and cold. There's a bunch of service roads and things like that on the side. And there was a car on the side of the road that kind of been smashed up, and a girl sitting outside on a curb with her head between her legs kind of crying. And Boris gets out of the car. She looks up. First of all, she's amazed it's Boris Becker because he's a very popular guy in Europe and especially in Germany. And she looks up, and then he comes back to the car, grabs a piece of paper. He goes back to her, and he hands her his piece of paper. She stands up, gives her a big hug, gives him a big hug, and starts crying and all that stuff. I found out later on when we got back to the hotel. I asked the driver, I go, what was that? What happened back there? And he said, this woman had just got this new car that day. She just got a new job, and she accidentally crashed her car and didn't have insurance yet. And Boris just bought her a new car. So it was, you know, the classy things that people don't ever hear about, you know, that they always look for the bad things. You know, they don't ever look for the good things. And I tend to always look at the good things.
Thank you for watching Tennis on Demand. Please remember to subscribe.